So what's with the child grooming? Is it because the only way homosexuals can reproduce is by touching children? Nah, I ain't going nowhere. These poor kids deserve better than this freak. What kind of parent brings their children to an event for men like this to sing for them? This is a disgusting display of degeneracy right here in my hometown. This will not be tolerated. It will not go unchecked. Keep the children out of it, you disgusting freaks. Don't you put your hands on me. Boy, I will knock you the out.
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? What is affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people. Read the Constitution.
What rights am I taking away exactly?
You're trying to take away gender-affirming care for individuals. You are affecting abortion rights. You are hurting people.
Got it. So what is a woman?
What is a woman? It's what people identify as. Is a gender. Sex is different. Sex is different from gender.
So can anyone be a woman?
Yes.
At what point do you know you're looking at a woman?
Doesn't matter when you are looking at a woman. You don't have to look at a woman and immediately tell. Can you tell looking at a baby what gender they are without looking at their privates? Tell me that.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. What about that baby is different?
But hold on. By the time they're 6 months old, you can actually tell a young boy tends to gravitate more towards balls and remotes.
That's because of gender affirming. That is convincing individuals at a young age. You are socializing, putting them in situations where they want certain different things. Let's look at... You were a little kid and your parents taught you to like pink. Let's actually look back in time. Pink actually used to be a male color instead of blue. In what world? Actually, in the 1920s.
So you say that I'm here to take people's rights away.
Yes.
That is your main contention.
Yes, because you are affecting the LGBT. You are affecting women's rights. If I was pregnant, oh wait, let's go back to this. Abortion is anything. If I had a cyst on my uterus, that would be considered an abortion. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look at, okay, anything that is evolving the uterus.
Well, no, in order for it to be an abortion, it must be a human life.
No. Anything that is evolving the uterus and you have to get rid of it, it is considered abortion.
No, that's not how it works. So again, you say I'm here to take rights away.
Yes.
Do you agree life is a right?
I feel like if it's a clump of cells, then it's not alive.
No, but let's go back. Do you think every human being has a right to life?
Depending on how many weeks, but let's...
So wait, hold on. Who's trying to take rights away? I want to protect the rights of all human beings. You call them a clump of cells. Who's trying to take rights away exactly?
So when is it a human being in your mind? When is it a human being in your mind?
Well, it's not even on my mind. Human development objectively begins at conception.
At conception. So even if I had a miscarriage, what are you going to say about that?
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy?
Yes.
Okay, then let's talk about, like, what if it's affecting the woman or anybody who is pregnant in this situation? What if they're gonna die and they have to get an abortion? That's the only way they're gonna live. Are they going to be over?
Well, hold on. Just so we're clear, that's only a couple thousand cases a year.
No.
And so, yes, it is.
Have you seen how many individuals have already died because they haven't been able to get abortion care?
Abortion in the life of the mother can be put aside as something that needs to be considered. However, it's not always necessary. But let's talk about the main thing, because there's over 1.5 million abortions every single year that don't involve rape, incest, or life of the mother. 1.5 million.
Yes.
But let's just ask you a very simple question. When does human life begin?
When does human life, in my personal opinion, is going to start around the second trimester, a little more farther along. But let's get to this. Most individuals that are having abortions are going to be mothers that cannot afford it. They usually have already 2 to 3 kids and a lot of time.
So it's acceptable to be able to murder your young if all of a sudden you don't have the money to support them. That you can murder your offspring if you're poor.
So in the the first couple weeks, even though it's still not fully developed, doesn't even have a heartbeat, doesn't even have brain activity.
Development does not equal dignity. A human being is a human being regardless of the process of development that it is in. Period.
The louder they scream, the less credible their arguments are. Just because you're screaming, it doesn't mean you're right or you're winning the argument. No, it doesn't. Volume and intensity, they are not substitutes for logic, ladies and gentlemen. When someone resorts to yelling, it often reveals emotional instability or a lack of solid arguments. Yeah, if your point has real merit, it shouldn't need to be shouted for it to be heard. No. And notice how all those girls wearing the MAGA heads at the front are really attractive. Yeah, which contrasts pretty well with the left-wing ones.
And so who's trying to take rights away? I actually want more human beings to be born.
Then why are you affecting the LGBT?
Well, hold on. We're talking. Let me finish on abortion. I want more human lives, which, by the way, hilariously, would be more women would be born, because the right to life is paramount. You're trying to take rights away because you're okay with the massacring of little humans. Back to LGBT.
It's been going throughout history, though. Abortion has been a big thing for a long time, and it affects people, and it hurts people.
So has murder and slavery and child sacrifice.
That is completely different.
No, it is murder.
You are saying slavery is to abortion?
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Define what is murder.
What is murder? Are you going to be talking about first-degree murder, like homicide, like going and having the intent to kill a person, having the intent to kill somebody? But I'm just saying a clump of cells.
Right?
But a clump of cells is different.
Hold on, time out. If it's a clump of cells, what species is it?
What species is it?
Yes. What species?
It depends. Whatever's going to be pregnant, whatever you're trying to abort.
Is it a Homo sapien, a crocodile, or a raccoon? Which one is it? What species is it? Oh, wait, so if it's a human clump of cells, then it's a human life deserving of human rights. And the first right is life. And so you could call it a clump of cells, which is dehumanizing language, but I'll go back to this. Ironically, you're the one that is actually intruding on human rights. We're the one protecting human rights.
But you're trying to get rid of the option so people can have rights to their own body. If someone does not want to have a child, they should not be forced to. Wait. If we're going to be doing this, then what are you going to do about the children in the systems that have been being assaulted, that are being hurted? Put more money into the system so people can actually get adopted, or actually other things like that.
Okay, again, none of that is relevant.
No, because you want more babies to be born. What about people that can't afford them? They have to go into systems.
How many people are on the adoption waiting list?
Want to know how many kids actually get adopted? How many kids that go into systems or are being fostered, that get assaulted, that get hurt? Are you going to be helping those children that get over by this system?
So there are 2 million people on the adoption waiting list. There are 1 million abortions every year. There are twice as many people that want to adopt than discarded children every single year. Now, I have to go back to a fundamental question, though, which I think is very important. Human development objectively begins at conception. You say it's around 2 trimesters. Can we agree that every human being, once your DNA is formed, you should have the right to life, the right to live the life the way you want to live it? Can we agree on that?
How many weeks are we saying?
No, I say, again, once we can acknowledge.
Once the sperm is inside the egg?
Correct, yeah.
No. Once the sperm is inside the egg in the first couple of days? No.
Well, okay, but let's go through that. Isn't that when your DNA was formed?
Yeah.
But then aren't you fundamentally at its core, you are, the DNA is your blueprint for your life. That's who you are. It's a unique marker.
It's my DNA, yeah.
Yes. So if it's not your DNA, why is it your choice?
Why is it my choice?
Yes, if it's not your DNA, why do you have a choice to eliminate it?
It's up to the individual that is having them inside of it.
Oh, okay.
It's their body. I don't care if it is a few weeks, because that is not a human being's life yet. Because that individual cannot survive without the mother or who is ever pregnant. Therefore.
Again, so let's get down to this, because I think it's very important and a good way to end this question, which is outside of rape, How did the woman get pregnant?
Outside of rape, so we're not going to be talking about incest or other individuals like that, because incest is not only just rape or other situations.
How about if I say?
Let's talk about how like eggs that get mixed up in clinics.
How about if I say I'm okay with abortion for rape, incest, and life of the mother? Let's make it illegal in the other circumstances. Would you agree?
How are we going to be able to term that all the time, though? Because what if it wasn't consensual? What if the individual was drunk, but they're married? Let's say they're married and they got raped.
You can get a rape. Again, you keep on interrupting me, but you can report rape as a crime. You can also do a blood test to find out if it's incest. But 99.9% of all abortions are not rape and not incest and not life of the mother. How did that woman get pregnant in those situations? Did she just walk through campus and it just appeared and all of a sudden a baby is in her uterus? Or did she do something to decide to potentially have a child?
Sex. But also contraceptives sometimes don't always work.
So, but hold on a second. Shouldn't you take responsibility for your orgasms?
I don't think most men can make me come. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, okay. Well, again, outside of that statement, I'm not even sure how to take that, to be honest.
You brought up orgasms.
Okay. Shouldn't you take responsibility for the sex that you have?
I mean, if I was wanting to have a child and my contraceptives, I didn't use any contraceptives, and I wanted to get pregnant, sure, I'm taking responsibility for that life because I wanted that life. But let's say I was having sex and my contraceptives didn't work and I got the chance of getting pregnant. I am not having that child.
You still have sex.
But you still decided to have sex.
Yeah.
And again, our opinion, when you go and decide, having sex is not something you need to survive. It's not like showering or eating or shelter. You can live without having sex. You can have a little bit of self-control. If you decide to go have sex, you should understand you play certain games, you win certain prizes, which might be another human life. And it is the most...
I don't want to have another child, though.
Hold on a second. Then don't go have sex.
No.
Oh, so you understand how narcissistic that is, that I want to keep on having fun, and if I have a human being and oopsie daisy, I'm going to eliminate that other human being because I don't want to have the human being, but I want to keep on having free sex. How is that not the most narcissistic worldview that one can possibly espouse?
It's narcissistic that I want to have sex with another consenting individual just because I don't want to have children. I feel like a lot of people in the world have sex. I think a lot of people make money off of having sex, and they don't want to have children. I feel like it is something that everybody do. A lot of people have sex just for pleasure.
Just because a lot of people do it does not make it right, number one. Number two, again, fundamentally, your view is I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and if it creates another human being, so be it. Sure.
Do you have sex just to have a baby every single time then? Or are you doing it for pleasure?
I am married and we have two kids. Yeah,
so
we're pretty good at it.
Are you having? I'm assuming that you have had sex more than twice in your life,
again,
not just to have the babies.
I'm not gonna give you an inside look into my sex life, but
you're doing it for pleasure, not just to have kids.
Well, again, we actually always do it with God's trust that if we get kids, it's a blessing, okay? And we do it in the marital context. Again,
you also are in a position where you can afford to have children. You are in a position where you are not the lower class.
How about this? How about we have the maturity and the sophistication? Again, you keep on using words children and baby. Let me ask you a question. When someone is celebrating a pregnancy, do they call it a clump of cell shower or a baby shower?
That's also when it's already been past those weeks.
Oh, so it magically gets pixie dust. You're a human being now.
No, because it develops.
Oh, exactly, because it's all around the spectrum of human development, and human development starts at conception.
Yeah, is it going to be completely developed at the first week? No. So
you're not completely developed right now. A lot of people aren't completely developed.
I mean, you're never going to be completely developed.
It's like you are not completely developed at age 30 or 40. The spectrum of human development keeps on going when you go deep and deep into your life. The question is the most important question: when does that journey begin? That journey begin. Like, when did your process of development begin?
My process of development?
Yes. Yeah. At conception. Every person in this audience, your life started at conception. And your own DNA, from your eye color to your hair color to your height, from your likes and your dislikes, whether you're an introvert, you're an extrovert, all of that was coded into your deoxyribonucleic acid at the moment that you were a zygote. And so that human deserves constitutional and human rights. And again, you came up here with the accusation saying, I am here taking away people's rights.
You are.
Again, so
You are affecting LGBT rights
right,
and
so
abortion rights. You are affecting individuals that can't always speak for themselves.
Got it. So again, I think we have gone through this plenty of times. I want to get to the next question.
Okay.
But maybe we can get to some.
I'll burn it.
You'll burn it. Okay. Maybe we can get to some approximation of an agreement. Can we agree?
No.
Oh. Can we agree on?
I think the rainbow girl is heading for a bad end. Her attitude and the environment she's immersed in seems to be leading her down a destructive path. Literally. While she may believe that she's embracing freedom, the reality is that she's drifting further from truth. She is, in genuine purpose. And genuine purpose, and unless there is a change in direction or a wake-up call, the road that she's on, it could lead to serious consequences, ladies and gentlemen. And it's tragic because there is still time for her to turn things around. But right now, I think it's really looking bad, to be honest. It is looking bad. And one of the sad things is that college is teaching this kind of morale. It's teaching this kind of morale. And it's not morality anymore. It's the absence of it. Instead of guiding students towards a deeper understanding of right and wrong, many institutions, they seem to be encouraging the do what feels good mentality. And morality has been replaced with all this bad stuff. It has been replaced. And the result is a generation that struggles to define virtue. They can't. You know why? Because they were never really taught what it means. That's the sad part. And I'm talking about a generation, ladies and gentlemen. This lady only represents many others out there. And that's dangerous. It really is dangerous. So many emotionally charged arguments that are completely divorced from reality. Completely. It's no surprise that they are so lost and so miserable. It's not a surprise. Because when people base their entire worldviews on feelings instead of facts, they end up chasing wind and illusions. That's the truth. Their arguments might sound heartfelt, but they have no grounding in truth. It's all emotion. That's what it is. All emotion, and living that way, disconnected from what's real, leads to confusion, frustration, and emptiness. Emptiness. No wonder they feel so directionless and unhappy. So unhappy. And you know what? Unhappy people make other people unhappy. Happy people make other people happy. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. It's not rocket science. Because there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end is destruction. That's Proverbs 14:12. And it reminds us that just because something feels right, looks right, or makes sense in our eyes, that doesn't mean that it's truly good or right. No, it doesn't. You know why? Because human judgment is limited. Human judgment is limited, ladies and gentlemen. It's limited. And without wisdom or truth as our guide, we can be easily deceived. We can be easily deceived. You see? We can convince ourselves that you're on the right path only to find out when it's too late that we have ended up in ruin. We've ended up in ruin. You see? Because what seems right isn't always right. That's the sad part. And without God's direction, our right can lead to serious devastation. Serious devastation. You might actually know people, who made decisions that looked right at first, whether it was probably following a crowd, chasing after pleasure, or ignoring warning signs, and later those choices caused real harm in their lives. Real harm in their lives. So that's what this verse is warning us about. Not every ride leads to a good place or destination. Literally. And I wish this lady know that, and a lot of these students. Because today you might be the star, but tomorrow you'll be down. And there are a lot of people, they have lived their lives that way. They've lived their lives that way. Matthew 6 from 19 to 21, it says, "Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal." You see, that basically means that earthly possessions, they are vulnerable and can be damaged, ruined, or taken away at any time. Can be taken away at any time, but rather store for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moth and vermin cannot destroy, where thieves do not break in and steal. They can't break in and steal. Unlike earthly treasures, heavenly treasures are eternal. They are, and they are secure. They are safe from decay and theft. Yes, they are. So, because for where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. Your heart will also be there. And this teaches us that whatever we value deeply, it will capture our hearts, our treasures. It will capture the affection and the focus of our hearts. You see? So if we invest in heavenly treasures, our hearts will be aligned with God and eternal values. Eternal values. You see? So it's my greatest desire that someday this girl will come to know Christ personally. She'll come to know Christ personally. I long for the day that she embraces faith and discovers true love, guidance that only Christ Jesus provides. Only Him. More than anything, she will live this life of emptiness, aimless, and live a life full of meaning, full of purpose and hope. It's my prayer that through Jesus Christ, she will find direction, peace, and a sense of fulfillment that not even the world can provide. Well, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to click on the next one, and don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. See you again next time. Bye bye for now.